Hi, Thriller Movie Recap here. Today I'm going to show you an American movie titled Split. So relax and enjoy. If you enjoy this movie, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you can get notified when there is a new movie recap. Spoilers ahead, watch out. The movie starts with Claire's birthday celebration. Claire tells her father that Casey frequently gets into conflict with teachers and is sent to detention, so Casey was invited out of sympathy. When Casey requests a ride home, the vehicle is said to have broken down. Claire's dad argues that she must go home with him even though she is about to board the bus. The girls depart with Marcia, a different pal. Unidentified figure approaches Claire's dad. The individual, a man named Kevin, enters the vehicle shortly after. Claire believes Kevin simply entered the wrong vehicle by accident, but Kevin wears a face mask and sprays the girls with a chemical that renders them unconscious. When Casey tries to slowly open the door to leave, Kevin also grabs her. Kevin leads the girls into an unidentified location's windowless room. Marcia is yanked out and led outside by him. Marcia runs back into the room after peeing herself after a brief interval. In a flashback, a young Casey, then 5 years old, is with her father and her Uncle John. They both hunt, and they show Casey the ropes. Uncle John recalls going deer hunting but was interrupted by the buck. Watching a television broadcast about the 3 missing children and how Claire's father woke up to discover the girls and his car gone is a therapist named Dr. Karen Fletcher. Following that, Barry sends Karen an email stating that they must speak immediately. Actually, Barry is one of Kevin's many personalities. This alter is a Boston-accented sketch artist. In this guise, he routinely meets with Karen. The females keep looking for a way out. They glimpse what looks to be a woman speaking to their captor through a breach in the door. Marcia and Claire make a help request to the woman. She goes to the door, but all she sees is Kevin, who is dressed in a skirt and high heels. This alter is Patricia, a courteous British lady. The girls are reassured by Patricia that their captor is aware of their situation and that he is not permitted to touch them. Karen is participating in a conference call over Skype with Kevin and other patients, the majority of whom have DID, dissociative identity disorder. Karen discusses how she can tell who has reached the light, which alter is in charge, and how some identities have powers that other identities might not have. People with DID can alter their body chemistry by thinking differently. The author continues. The sisters encounter Hedwig, a different persona who behaves like a 9-year-old boy. He asserts that he is in trouble and that Patricia and Dennis, the persona who kidnapped the girls, are upset with him. In an effort to escape, Casey tells Hedwig that Patricia and Dennis are still upset with him and that he is in trouble. The girls begin seeking for a way out through the walls when Hedwig departs. When Claire spots a hollow in the ceiling, she starts tearing the plaster off. As Claire tries to exit, Hedwig begins to return, but Casey and Marcia hold the door back. As Claire begins to scurry through the vents, Kevin changes back to Dennis. She locates an exit and begins running for assistance. She hides in a locker, but Dennis discovers her due to the sound of her shaking breath. He demands that Claire remove her shirt since it is filthy. Afterward, he confines her to a room by herself. Kevin plays Barry again in a subsequent session with Karen. Karen doubts that she is actually speaking with Barry. She has observed some traits Barry is exhibiting, like OCD, that are typically associated with other alters, including Dennis. Barry asserts that he is improved. Kevin reportedly has 23 different identities, according to Karen. After Karen reveals a 24th identity, the Beast, Kevin changes into Dennis, and Dennis confirms that the Beast is definitely real. Casey and Marcia go out to eat with Patricia. Casey removes her flannel blouse, and Marcia is compelled to undo her skirt. As she begins to prepare another sandwich, Patricia escorts the girls into a dining area. When he chops the sandwich incorrectly by accident, he gets irritated and proceeds to make another one. Marcia takes advantage of the chance to grab a chair and hit Patricia in the back with it. When Casey tries to flee to get help, Patricia catches her and tells her to return to her room. Marcia is ultimately discovered and imprisoned in a room by herself. Karen and her aide watch surveillance footage of the buildings outside. Garbage is spread all over after a trash can is knocked over. While one pair goes around it, Dennis walks straight through it, which Karen thinks is intentional. Hedwig jokes around with Casey. She agrees to his request for a kiss even if it seems awkward. Hedwig talks about his musical tastes and how he enjoys dancing to Kanye West. Casey requests that he show her his room and music library. She suggests a window that is near his music as they are being led there by him. It consists of merely a closed window drawn over an open window. Hedwig begins to understand that Casey is attempting to flee. She tries to calm him down after becoming scared. As Casey fights against Hedwig, he pulls out a walkie-talkie, which she uses to start calling for assistance. After controlling Casey, Hedwig returns the walkie-talkie. We witness little Casey on a hunting excursion in yet another flashback. Uncle John starts to want to play while her dad isn't present. He encourages Casey to take off her clothes because animals don't wear clothes after changing into his underwear. Later, when John comes out from under a boulder, Casey is pointing a weapon in his direction. In order to prevent her from firing, he is able to take it away from her. Using a wire to unlock the door from outside Marcia's chamber, Claire and Marcia try to flee. They don't succeed. When Karen visits Kevin, Dennis welcomes her. They continue talking about the Beast and the Horde, the collective term for the four main personas that dominate Kevin after he welcomes her inside. Then Karen starts to feel real fear. The moment Karen tries to assist Claire after finding her imprisoned in her room, Dennis yanks her away. A laptop containing footage on each of Kevin's aliases is discovered by Casey. She encounters two people, Jade, a diabetic, and Orwell, who speaks philosophically. Dennis enters a train car that has been abandoned and begins to change into the Beast. In comparison to any other persona, he is noticeably taller and stronger. Karen is writing something on a piece of paper when he gets home. He crawls over the wall and grabs her as she reaches for a little knife. Karen begins to attempt to stab him, but the knife malfunctions. After that, Karen is squeezed by the Beast until her spine breaks, killing her. Casey exits and searches for the other girls. She discovers Marcia lying on the ground with her tummy ripped open. The Beast then begins attacking Claire as Casey discovers her to be alive. Casey discovers the piece of paper Karen wrote on. "Say his name, Kevin Wendell Crumb," it commands. The Beast locates Casey, but she calls his name loudly and frequently, causing him to return to normal. In a quick flashback, we witness Kevin's mother calling him by his full name and informing him he's made a mess as a little child. Casey informs Kevin that he killed Karen, Claire, and Marcia in the present, but Kevin has no memory of what he did at that time. He commands Casey to shoot him since there is a gun in one of the cupboards. All at once, the dominant identities begin to assume control. Casey flees as the Beast begins to reappear. Casey gathers a few shells and puts them in the weapon. Casey loses his ability to aim at the Beast as he begins to climb up on the ceiling and destroy the lights. Casey is attacked by the Beast, who tears her clothing and bites her leg, but she manages to escape. She locks herself in a cage and adds additional ammunition to the rifle. The Beast begins bending the bars to enter, but he soon becomes aware of Casey's body's numerous scars. In a different flashback, John is seen promising little Casey that he will take over as her guardian following her father's demise. The Beast then declares Casey to be pure-hearted and walks away. A man goes downstairs shortly after that and discovers Casey. To protect her, he carries her outside. She turns to peek outside and notices a large enclosure full with animals. When the medics show up, Casey is taken inside. Kevin is now entirely under the Horde's influence and is someplace by himself. Patricia promises that the Beast will now guard them. The final scene takes place in a diner while patrons watch a news program on what Kevin accomplished. The anchor woman talks on how the Beast's persona resembles the creatures he worked with in their enclosure. A customer comments that the situation is comparable to that of a man in a wheelchair from 15 years ago. Someone next to her says Mr. Glass when she can't recall his name.
Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.